Well, hey, what is going on? You are looking live at Liberty Arena as we get you set for the ASUN semifinals here tonight on the Sea of Red Live podcast, presented as always by Jason Porter Real Estate, as well as Ironclad Coffee. And I am going to go ahead and bring everyone in here. We have got the Reverend, the Dr. Will Matthews, and then live at Liberty Arena, John and Chad. Tell us who you got with us.
Yeah, let us get unmuted here. Can you guys hear us?
You're good.
All right. We have Coleman Crawley here. He has gone around the country 7 games in 64 days. He is trying to find a Cinderella before the ball, and 67 games. I was just talking to him on the way over here, and I'll let him kind of tell it, but I asked him if it still feels exciting or has the grind gotten to him. And if you can imagine 67 games in 64 days, it's gotten a little exhausting. But yeah, we're going to preview the EKU game tonight. Got a little courtside action down there. And Coleman, we'll just start with a couple questions first, and that is I listened to you on Rich Eisen today. Bobby Bones was sitting in, filling in. Rich is down at the combine. And the 2 questions I want to ask you about, I'm going to ask you the same questions. I'm right here in front of all of Flames Nation. Who are the top 3 Cinderellas we should keep our eye on this March?
UAB. Sorry. Number 1 was UAB for me. Number 2 was Marshall. And number 3 was Drake. Now, as you all know, they may not win their conference tournament. UAB and Marshall are both 3 seeds. Drake's a 2 seed. And you all might slide into those top 3 Cinderellas. Yeah. But as of right now, when they're still not eliminated, you're not.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. And the only other question I have for you is who is the best guard in the country under 6 foot? I heard your answer to that one too. And we're going to ask you again in front of all of Flames Nation. The wonderful Flames creative team here is watching. He's got the bright lights on him, and we're going to see what he says. The best guard in the country under 6 foot.
I watched Jelly Walker drop 30 couple on Rice the other night, and he is my favorite guard I've seen under 6 foot. Darius gets second, but they're 2 of the top 5 I've seen. Yeah. Actually, the best players I've seen have almost all been under 6 foot. Darius, one of them.
Yeah, that's why we follow Coleman. He's got a great insight. I mean, look, all I've seen is Darius McGee. I haven't really been in person and watched these other guys. Love your takes, and I'm glad to have you for tonight. John, been texting me all night, all morning, nervous wreck. What is going through your mind? I know you've been getting pictures of Darius. This might be his last time in Liberty Arena. Are you shook? Do you need some nerve pills? What's going on tonight with creator, founder, all things a Sea of Red, main man, John Manson?
No, man, just trying to take it all in. I mean, it's tournament time, right? I mean, I said this the other night, but you win or go home, and we've sat here and watched Darius play for 5 years, and man, what a special player we've been privileged to watch, and this team is so good. I mean, we've talked about it all year long. I mean, 39. I woke up this morning, first thing I checked was the net rankings, as I do most of February and March, and Liberty was 39 in net, and that's the highest the program's ever been ranked, and never been a top 40 team. And to be that here on March 2nd, as we go into the ASUN semifinals, it just speaks to how good this team is. And I want it so bad for them, for Darius, for Coach McKay. I want them to win these next 2 games to prove on the national level in the NCAA tournament just how special this team is. And I really think, I mean, EKU is a good team. We've seen that in the 2 regular season games. We could go out here and EKU could get the upper hand tonight. I wouldn't be shocked. I am nervous about the game. But deep down, I have this feeling, I've told you and others today, I have this feeling that Darius is just so locked in right now. We saw it Tuesday night against Bellarmine in those 4 or 5 minute stretch there in the first half. I just have this feeling that he's going to will the Flames to victory if the time comes that he has to, kind of put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, right? I think he's going to get that done. But you never know. I mean, Darius has gone cold, and there's only so much you can do when you have a cold night. I mean, he had that senior night when he started, missed his first 12 shots. But I'm super pumped for this game. I can't wait to see how the team plays, and I just want this team to win these next 2 games so bad, because I know that, I mean, they deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. Coleman, I saw one of your tweets, and I referenced it with Chad in text today. 39 in net. And maybe you can speak to this a little bit. There's not many teams that have been ranked in the top 40 in net over the past 3, 4, 5 seasons that haven't made the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. The stat was that no team in the last 3 years has been inside the top 33 in the net and missed the NCAA tournament. And actually, I think last year the lowest in the net to miss it was OU at 38. So if Liberty can continue to dominate, let's say get a 20-point win tonight, I mean, who knows? Maybe even a loss in the conference finals and they could get in, but continue to play well.
Yeah, I drink the Kool-Aid, but I don't think there's any chance we get an at-large. I just don't see it happening. Best net ranking ever. I just don't think, like, in that same tweet back in 2019, I believe 33 didn't get in, 35 didn't get in, and 37 or something like that. There were 3 teams in the 30s that didn't get in. And man, I've been around Liberty long enough to know that if there's a chance to get snubbed, it feels like we kind of do. And there's just other really good teams out there, mid-majors, who are ranked higher than us that I still think are on the bubble. So it could be exciting. Let's talk real quick about the game tonight. One take for tonight's game. I'll go ahead and start and just say that I think I woke up this morning extremely grateful that we lost at EKU about a month ago. Had we not lost that game, we would be 2-0 against a team that's a very good team. And as they always say, it's really hard to beat a good team 3 times in a row. Now, if EKU was just a mediocre mid team, then it wouldn't be that hard to beat them 3 times. But they are a good team, so I'm really glad tonight going into this game it's 1-1, in the matchup. So that's my take. Is I woke up really grateful that happened and that they've had that experience. The team probably takes it a little. You can't say more seriously or more hyped because I don't know if that's true, but deep down somewhere they know that this team broke their heart a month ago in Eastern Kentucky. And then the fans as well and everybody hyping up this game. None of us are coming in here thinking we're going to roll. Like me and John both said we were going to beat Bellarmine by 20 or 30, and that's what happened tonight. I don't feel that, but I am glad we beat them. We lost to them about a month ago. So that's my take for the game. Coleman, what do you got for us?
I think it's got to be on the defensive end of the floor. We know this Liberty team can score points seemingly at will. And Eastern Kentucky, playing the fast tempo that they do, aren't a team that particularly focuses a ton on the defensive end. So slow down Blanton. He had 26 here the last time, I want to say. So if they can slow him down, keep him around his average or ideally below, then Liberty's going to have a great shot to win this game. Is Cooper Robb back? Wasn't in this game. So, yeah, definitely need to slow down Blanton.
Yeah, I mean, Blanton's a great player, first team all ASUN, and like you said, he scored 26 here last time. One thing that I'm really focused on tonight is the officiating. We saw it on Tuesday night against Bellarmine, and when you get to this time of the year, you've got really good officials that are out there on the court, and we had a guy that was a top 100 ref in the country, does a lot of SEC games the other night. I'm not sure about tonight's officiating crew, but I'm sure they'll be really good too. But what we saw Tuesday night is they called a good game. They weren't letting Bellarmine get out on Darius and hand check him and not let him get free space. And that's something EKU had a lot of success against Liberty this year in both games, was getting out on Darius, roughing him up a little bit on the perimeter with some of their longer guards. And if the refs are calling it a little bit tighter whistle, guard, calling those hand checks and things, and allows Darius to have some of the space, some of the free looks, clean looks he had Tuesday against Bellarmine. I mean, again, you never know if he's going to make those shots, but I like the odds if Darius is able to get some clean looks, especially in March in a winner go home situation.
Yeah. Lastly, Coleman, I loved what you had to say today on Rich Eisen. Just summarize what it is you're doing in your grind. We said we'd ask you a little bit about has it turned into a grind yet? Are you still pumped up? Where are you at mentally? And just you're almost there, man. Selection Sunday is only a week and a couple of days away. So just talk to us about what you're doing, where we can follow you, and then a little bit about where you are mentally in this process.
Yes, to answer the grind question, yes, it has been taxing. Absolutely. 67 games, 64 days, 19,000 plus miles. It has worn on me, but I can't let it now. Now we're at the most crucial part of the season. every single game I'm seeing from here till Selection Sunday, a team's getting eliminated. Their season's going to be over. So that's the case for the game tonight. That part has me excited and is going to keep me pushing forward. The gist of what I'm trying to do is find Cinderella before she's at the ball. Last year, St. Peter's was that Cinderella, made the run to the Elite Eight as a 15 seed. They averaged 526 people at their home games. That's not a problem here at Liberty, thankfully. But I want to end that where we only focus on Cinderella in March. Let's get her some exposure in January and February. And so that's why I'm trying to shed some light on small mid-major college basketball, the high level of basketball that's being played.
There have been a lot of good sermons preached here at Liberty, and that was one of the best I've ever heard. Let's pass the offering plates. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. That was wonderful. Yeah, excited about what you're doing, man, and love following along. And, man, keep it up. So, Nick, that's about all we got. Unless you have any questions for us, we'll turn it back over to you guys.
Well, hey, everybody. My name is Jason Porter. I'm with Legacy Realty and Development, and it's been a great partnership here with Sea of Red lately. I was with Liberty Athletics as the Associate Athletic Director for Sports Medicine, so took care of all of the healthcare needs and coordinated that with a fantastic staff at Liberty in the athletic department, of course, for about 5 or 6 years, and then moved into real estate full-time and with Legacy Realty and Development. And it's just been a great pleasure to continue to stay connected with my Liberty University family and the athletics family as well. Been enjoying serving them. A lot of the graduate assistants and some of the staff that I hired has come back now and has been using me for residential services, which I really appreciate. But certainly do residential real estate as far as buying and selling of homes, of course. And then also we have a strong commercial presence as well. So commercial real estate, obviously a very, very different animal than is residential. But whether it's buying and selling commercial properties or just the leasing of properties, we can help with that as well. So it's been a great opportunity to service our commercial clients as well. And then certainly on the investment front too, a number of folks who have discovered the power of passive income through real estate and investing in real estate with rental properties or fix and flips, those kind of things. And so great joy to serve my clients in that capacity as well. The other thing that I would add too is just a very, very full Rolodex at this point of contractors and subs and just different professional contacts that I've made through the years. So if I can ever provide any of those folks to you and all of a sudden you need a plumber or an electrician or a contractor to build your deck, whatever, I'd certainly be glad to give you access to that Rolodex and those references as well. Because a lot of times it's not exactly who you know, it's who you know that knows how to do the job well. And so I would be glad to provide those services for you as well. So love Flames Nation, love taking care of my Liberty family. And if there's ever anything I can do for you, my contact information is all right here on the screen. And I would love to be a service to you and yours. Thanks so much.
All right, you are looking live at Liberty Arena as we are almost 15 minutes tip-off between the Liberty Flames and the EKU Colonels. Will Matthews, what is up, my man? How we feeling tonight?
Kind of like John said, I'm a little bit nervous. Woke up feeling good about it, but then as you know, you get closer to game time, you start playing out what-if scenarios and so overall, feeling pretty good, but there is just that little bit of tournament nervous inside of me tonight.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Let's run through what's going on here in the ASUN. The other game, Kennesaw and Lipscomb will play tonight. Lipscomb had a really impressive win at Stetson, and then Kennesaw survived. We'll talk about them here in a second, and then Liberty EKU. Here's what went down. Liberty Bellarmine. Will, I didn't get your thoughts after the game because you were at this game in person. Real quick, give me your 30-second thoughts on this game.
Oh, man. I thought the way Liberty played against Bellarmine is the way that they need to play tonight. They need to play loose. They need to have a good defensive effort, and I feel like they need to get up early on Eastern Kentucky and not let the foot off the gas. The atmosphere was so great. It was so much more big time. than the Vine Center, even though the Vine Center is much bigger. But I guess just the intimacy of a smaller venue is kind of a weird contrast. But the fan atmosphere was just so much better. It was so much louder. The accommodations, the seating arrangement, even just, down to just the aesthetics of the arena, just make it a fun atmosphere. And, watching Darius in person is just crazy. I mean, you watch him on TV and he's got this vertical, and then when you see him in person, it's like in slow motion. Like at one point, like he jumped and did that vertical, and I went to the bathroom and came back and he was still in the air. So it was just a great time. John and Chad and everybody got to meet Jason Porter for the first time. So we had a great time, and big win.
All right. Awesome. Let's talk real quick about EKU. My goodness, they had a heck of a performance in round one. They completely just sucked any life that North Alabama had right from the tip. This game was never even remotely competitive. They held Northern Alabama to 0.69 points per possession. That was their fourth worst all time in the history of that program. So that's just how dominant they were defensively. EKU, we'll talk about them in a second. They are such a good team blocking shots. Isaiah Cozart had 6 blocks in 19 minutes. And the one thing that makes me a little nervous, EKU, they got to rest almost all their starters, even more than Liberty. Most of their starters only played 20 minutes. The only one who played like more than 20 minutes was Cooper Robb, who played 25. But I think that was because he's coming back from injury. I think they wanted him to get more reps probably than anything else. But yeah, dominating win for EKU. I'm hoping that that North Alabama was more of just like this fluke team that had this nice little run and they were overrated, and that had something to do with this. But
yeah, they should. It looks like, I mean, obviously I didn't watch this game, and I'm sure you had an eye on it during the Liberty game, but it looks like they shot pretty poorly in the first half. And the second half was a little bit better, but it almost seemed like it was too late by then.
Shout out Joel Vanderpool watching us. Joel, if we're fortunate enough to win, I don't want to put any jinxes on it, and you're not heading up to Liberty Arena, we got to have you on for a pregame show on Sunday. All right, let's look here. Will, when you saw that Liberty was favored by 14, I think Vegas has it about 12.5 right now. Were you surprised how big of a number?
A little bit. I thought it would have been a little bit tighter. I do think there is potential for certainly for Liberty to win by 14. I think, and even then, even if it's a close game, I feel like, you start playing the foul game at the end. But I felt like that was a pretty high projected score. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm with you. I've been preaching. I think this is I think this team is in the conversation for the best team of all time, and I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole tonight. But even I, with that mindset, I was a little like, oh, that's way too
for a tournament game too.
Well, KenPom has no. KenPom's just viewing this as a normal home game.
Okay,
they're not putting any extra.
I was going to ask if they considered that.
Vegas has your 1.5. That's where the tournament aspect of it came out. But you know what? The one thing that really shocks me, listen to this, Will. Last year when Liberty played Bellarmine in the semifinals, Liberty was favored by 77%. They're favored by 90% in this game. Isn't that crazy that last year, I mean, and we saw how that worked out last year, but I can't believe that this game is a 13% higher win percentage than that one. But I did a little bit more research into EKU, and I felt a little better. The good things about it, the bad things, if you're a Liberty fan about EKU, like I said, they are 19th in the country in block percentage. They block a ton of shots. So if you're talking key to this game, it's Blake Preston, Shiloh Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
It's not trying to play hero ball, throwing shots up around the rim because they'll slam it back down. And if you hit threes, obviously that negates blocking shots, right? EKU is not a good offensive team at all. I think we get confused because of their pace. Like they feel like they're a lot better. They're one of the worst. They are 320th in 3-point percentage, 339th in free throw percentage. They are not a good offensive team at all. They score points, but that's because they play at an insane tempo. They are a pretty good defensive team, and they've been even better in conference play. And their last 2 games, they've been really, really good. So, obviously, Will, I think that the defense for Liberty is probably the biggest key, because I don't think EKU, if Liberty's playing decent defense, can outscore Liberty. Do you kind of see it that way at all?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that the defense was built just right for that game against Bellarmine, and I think it's going to take a little bit of that upstep defensive effort against Eastern Kentucky. Even though they are not a great shooting team, they're still finding ways to win. They're still a very good team. They still got some guys, Blanton, that is a scorer. So, and they've evidently they had earlier in the year, fluky game or not, they found some kind of recipe to beat Liberty. So, and get around that pack line defense, even though Liberty did not have a great shooting night that night. So it'll be interesting to see. I kind of feel like it's a closer game than maybe what the final score will indicate at the end of the night.
I think that's a great way of saying it. I could absolutely see Liberty winning this game by like 14, but it being like really tight and intense, just like the game at Liberty Arena. Liberty won by 10, but it never felt like the margin was that much. And that leads us to the series history. This is kind of an interesting way to look at this. So Liberty's played 3 games since they've been the ASUN. 2 games have been 83-73, 91-84, and then that one 62-59. I really think that game was an anomaly. We talked about before, that was the worst 3-point shooting game for Liberty since 2017. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think Liberty should be kind of comfortable. If EKU wants to play fast, give it to them. Try to get some easy buckets on them. I mean, to a certain extent, you don't want to be, running up and down the floor and turning the ball over. But do you think it'll be a higher scoring game, Will?
I think this will be a higher scoring affair. I didn't think Bellarmine would, Bellarmine, they kind of held them to a low score. I kind of feel like Eastern Kentucky, now that they've got that first game out of the way where they kind of blew out a pretty decent team in North Alabama, maybe coming in with a little bit of confidence. So I feel like it's going to be a higher scoring, maybe somewhere in that range where that second game was, which is a high scoring game for Liberty, kind of 70 to 80 points.
Yeah. All right.
And most of the time when I think it's a high scoring game, it's a low scoring game. So
yeah, I said that the other day, right before the Kennesaw game. I said, I think it's going to be a grind out game, and it was like 88, 87. But we'll see. This has flown by. We got like 5 minutes left. I'm going to play a quick word from Ironclad Coffee, then we'll look at the starting lineups, and we'll get you out of here and turn on ESPN Plus.
Virginia's best and most flames-friendly coffee comes from Ironclad Coffee Roasters. Ironclad roasts and serves up their beautiful beans at 2 cafes in Richmond, but you can enjoy their crafted roasted specialty beans from anywhere in the country by visiting www.ironcladcoffee.com. Place your order there, and it'll be roasted to your order and shipped out directly to your doorstep.
Whenever you find yourself in the Commonwealth, pay them a visit at their 2 cafes in the Richmond area. Ironclad's owners, the O'Rourke family, are proud Flames Club members and are pleased to sponsor these podcasts by Sea of Red. Hop on over to their website at www.ironcladcoffee.com now to get Virginia's best specialty coffee headed your way.
All right, so real quick here, let's look at the other game because I did spend some time making these graphics, so we're going through it. Darn it, Kennesaw Lipscomb. Kennesaw 4-point favorite on Ken Palm. I think this is going to be a tight game. I'm interested to see Kennesaw 1-point win over Queens. They were very fortunate to get out of there alive. Very interested to see what this looks like. And then wait for this next one. This is shot quality. I've talked about this before. I won't go in length about it, but it's something I really like, and I'm really, really getting more and more into. They are predicting a Lipscomb win tonight. So that's interesting. And shot quality predicts the same margin as Ken Palm. When I saw that there's this shot quality and Ken Palm are 2 very, very different systems. They often have very wide ranges between the 2. So when I saw this, that made me go, okay, I feel a little better. I feel a little more comfortable. But Will, let's run through the starting lineups here real quick. We got about 5 minutes left. This has been fun. It's cool when you run through something real quick. Liberty starting lineup. Will, real quick, who's the key for you tonight?
The key for me tonight is Zach Cleveland. I thought he gave some meaningful minutes the other night. And just like you were saying, the post-up game with Blake and Shiloh, if that's not there, Cleveland can do that pretty good as well. So he's not afraid to drive to the lane. He's not afraid to create his own shot. So he's my guy tonight.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Obviously, I talked about Preston and Shiloh, so I agree with that. Cleveland's a great addition to that. Love that, Will. I'm going to go Colin Porter. I think, EKU is a team that wants to rush up the tempo. I think he's got to control the ball. I think he's got to make smart shots around the rim. Like I talked about how good they are at blocking shots. Can't just be throwing stuff up there. And got to be a little careful there. All right, let's run through EKU. Will, who was the player you were watching out for EKU?
I'm watching Cooper Robb, played 31 minutes in game 1, went 5 for 7, 3 for 4 from 3 for 4 from 3. Did not play against Liberty in that second game because of injury, and he did not factor in much against North Alabama if you just look at his numbers, but he's a solid player. He does not turn the ball over very much, so I think he's going to be key tonight.
Yeah, and they're not a good three-point shooting team, so they need a guy to step up and maybe shoot a little bit above his normal percentage, and he's a guy capable of that, like that, Will. All right, here's the other guys real quick. Comer, he's a 6'1" freshman guard. Not a great shooter, but he does do a good job taking care of the ball. Blanton, he's their highest usage player. He's ranked second in the conference in the KenPom Player of the Year stat. Does shoot a very high percentage. Doesn't shoot a high percentage, but does take a lot of shots, and he doesn't turn the ball over. I think Moreno is the real wild card for them. He's their most efficient player. He's capable of big game. He hit 11 threes in the game, and it was against Boyce, but still, if you hit 11 threes in the game, you're capable of going off. And he's their best three-point shooter overall. You can't afford to let this guy go off. I think he's the one guy you can't let beat you. I'm even Blanton, who was, second best player in the conference. I think Moreno's the guy I wouldn't let beat. And then Cozart, this guy, he's only 6'7", but he is 5th in the country in block percentage of possessions that he blocks. Great rebounder, shoots really good around the rim. The duo of Preston and Robinson, I guess the trio, as you point out with Cleveland, they got to do a good job on them tonight. And then Leland Walker off their bench, 6'1" freshman. He's also capable of having some good scoring games, and he's their best free throw shooter. EKU is not a good free throw shooter team, so if he comes in late in the game, he's maybe a guy to watch out for. Will, any quick 20-second final thoughts?
No, just hope they play loose. Hope we can get this win tonight. I'm pulling for Lipscomb over Kennesaw State. I think it would be fitting for another Liberty-Lipscomb final.
All right, we'll be back post-game. I'm going to leave this feed on as long as it goes, so if we can hear intros or whatever, sorry, whoever that's in the way, but hey, we'll let you know. I'm going to turn the volume on. We'll see you after the game. Let's go Flames.